Have you ever really thought about what goes on behind the scenes of your favorite websites? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain on PHP, the powerful engine that brings so many of the dynamic websites we use every single day to life. You know how a website somehow remembers your login or shows you a personalized welcome back message or even keeps track of your shopping cart? That's not magic. It's something called server-side scripting, and PHP is one of the biggest stars in that universe. So just how important is PHP? Well, take a look at this. It's a syllabus for a course on advanced internet technologies. Notice where PHP is? It's not just another topic buried in the middle. It's Unit 5, the final and most significant module in the entire curriculum. It's the grand finale. And get this, it carries a whopping 30% weightage. 30%. When a curriculum dedicates almost a third of its final score to just one topic, you know it's not just important, it's a cornerstone of modern web development. Okay, so to really wrap our heads around this, let's use an analogy. Imagine a busy restaurant. The web server, that's the kitchen. Your browser, that's you, the customer at the table. And PHP, well, PHP is our master chef. What our chef does in the back is called server-side scripting. You see, a static menu would just be plain HTML. Everyone gets the same thing. But our chef takes a custom order. The code runs in the kitchen, the server, to prepare a unique meal, a custom HTML page, before it ever gets sent out to you, the customer. And our chef's official name? PHP, which stands for PHP. Hypertext Preprocessor. Yeah, it's kind of a nerdy recursive name, but the important part is right there in the title. It preprocesses your request on the server to build the final web page you get to see. All right, so we've met our chef. Now, what do they cook with? Let's take a look at their core ingredients. In PHP, we're talking about things like variables, data types, and operators. These are the fundamental building blocks of any script or recipe. So how does the chef store all this information? Well, they use two kinds of containers. On the left, you have variables. Think of these like mixing bowls. You can put ingredients in, change them, and reuse them all through the recipe. On the right, you have constants. These are more like a pre-measured sealed packet of spice. Its value is set once, and it never, ever changes. And what kind of ingredients can we actually put in those containers? Well, PHP has 8 main types, what we call primitive data types. You can see here they're broken down into 3 main categories: scalar, compound, and special types. It's really just the chef's system for organizing the whole pantry. Let's focus on the most common spices, the 4 scalar types. First, you've got integers, which are just whole numbers. Then floats, which are numbers with decimals. You've got strings, which is just a fancy word for text. And finally, booleans, which are simply true or false values, kind of like an on or off switch. Okay, so the chef has all their ingredients prepped. But a pile of ingredients isn't a meal, is it? They need a recipe to follow. In programming, these recipes are called control flow structures. They tell the script what to do and when to do it, which allows it to make decisions. Here is a super simple recipe, the if-else statement. First, the chef checks a condition, like, is it a weekday? If the answer is true, they follow one set of instructions, maybe showing the daily special. But if it's false, they follow a different path and show the weekend brunch menu. This is exactly how websites show you different content based on different situations. Think about repetitive tasks, like adding every single topping to a pizza one by one. It's totally inefficient, and that's where loops come in. They are the chef's technique for repeating steps. You've got while, for each. They're all just different ways to efficiently handle tasks that need to be done over and over and over again. Okay, let's switch gears from the kitchen to the front of the restaurant. How does our chef, PHP, actually get the customer's order? This is all about collecting data from forms that you, the user, fill out on a website. There are 2 main ways to pass that order to the kitchen: get and post. Think of get on the left, like sending a postcard. The information is visible to everyone right there in the URL. Post on the right is more like a sealed envelope. The data is sent privately in the body of the request. For sensitive stuff like passwords, you always want to use the sealed envelope. You always use post. You know, a good chef needs a good memory. They need to remember their customers' preferences and keep track of everything in their pantry. In the web world, we call this state management, and it's absolutely crucial for creating a user experience that feels seamless. So how does the server remember you? It uses two main tools. On the left, you have cookies. Think of these like a loyalty card that the restaurant gives you to keep in your wallet. It's a small file stored on your computer. On the right, you have sessions. These are like the chef's personal notes for your current visit. That information is stored on the server and is usually tossed out after you leave. But for the really big stuff, all the long-term storage for the restaurant's ingredients and recipes, the chef needs a massive, organized pantry. In web development, this is our database. And a super common one is MySQL. And managing this pantry comes down to 4 basic actions, known as CRUD operations. This table lays it out perfectly. To create is to add a new ingredient or insert data. To read is to check your inventory or select data. To update is to relabel an item. And to delete is to throw something out. Every action in the kitchen has a direct counterpart in the database. Now, a home cook can get by with basic tools, but a professional chef works in a fully equipped professional kitchen. That's what a framework like Laravel is for PHP. It's an organized system that provides specialized tools and pre-made components. It even provides a master blueprint, the model view controller pattern, to keep the whole kitchen organized and tidy. And that brings our entire analogy full circle with this fantastic quote. PHP acts like a skilled chef in a restaurant kitchen, taking a specific order, preparing a custom meal, and sending the finished plate out to the customer's table. I mean, that just nails it, doesn't it? That really is the perfect summary. From a simple, tiny request to a complex, massive banquet, PHP is the chef that works behind the scenes to make the modern web personal and dynamic for all of us. So now you've been introduced to the chef behind the curtain. The only question left is, what are you going to ask them to cook up for you next?